Hi, everybody. Welcome back into another Arsenal fan circle. Pull up a chair, come on in, let's talk about this Huddersfield game at the weekend. It's been a very quiet week of news concerning Arsenal since the Manchester City game. There's been a lot of reflection and a lot of ranting from the Arsenal fan base, but I hope my last video has sort of helped people to understand the bigger picture of this season, which is top four qualification, and we are actually doing quite a decent job um, with that and under Emery, and I will go into that in a little bit more detail in just a moment. But take a look at the league table, and Huddersfield are at the bottom. But let's all remember the frustration and the ultimate joy that we had for the Emirates game at Huddersfield. If we all can cast our minds back to the Emirates, it was very, very tough. Huddersfield made that game very, very tough for us. And it was only a very late goal from player of the season, in my opinion, Torreira, that could seal the 3 points for the Arsenal on that day. So let's not take anything for granted here. We are beginning what I'm going to call a 3 games that are very, very important to Arsenal's season and top four. And the other 2 games will be Bournemouth at home and Southampton at home. But let's focus first on Huddersfield, bottom of the league, and they just got trounced by Chelsea last weekend. Now, as I said in my last video, um, Chelsea will have to face Manchester City this weekend. And that's who we played last weekend. So we're getting the return fixtures. We're going to play Huddersfield, and we need to rack up some goals on them to help our goal difference to get back to where Chelsea's was. If you'd seen my last video, you would see where I basically talked about Chelsea having a more difficult program ahead. So let's set our sights more on Manchester United. I think they are going to be our main rivals for the top 4 spot. I feel Chelsea will fade away a little bit. But let's focus more on Huddersfield. And, basically, it should be a win of any sort. The result is going to be more important than the performance right now. And every game now, toward the end of the season, the result is going to be more important than the performance. If you look at our league table, right, look at the our league results versus the top 20 teams, you'll see that we are punching right about where we need to be at top 4. In terms of, now I'll explain that in a little bit, we have drawn and lost some games to the teams that are fighting for the league title, which, by the way, I believe will be Manchester City again this year. But we lost 2 games home and away to Manchester City. We lost away to Anfield, so and so forth. So we lost the game at Stamford Bridge versus Chelsea. And as we go down through the league, as we go down through the positions, we see that we're picking up more points. Towards the middle of the table and the bottom of the table is the majority of our wins are coming, and a majority of our losses are coming at the very, very top, which is Manchester City and Liverpool. That's something we're going to have to address next year. But as of right now, we're getting results where we need to get them, around top 4, 5, 6 positions, all the way down, trickle all the way down to the 20th position. We're getting the majority of wins and a lesser amount of losses. We had 2 anomaly, what I call shock results. The West Ham game was really, really bad, and of course the Southampton game was very, very bad. Now we can explain away the Southampton game in terms of really, really bad injuries that we had at the back. West Ham was just one of those games where we did not play well, but have an opportunity this weekend against the bottom place team, and that's Huddersfield. Now, that's going to be away from home, and let's look at our home form first. If you take a look at our league form, and excluding all of the cups and all of that, because we have lost a few games at home in cup competition, but let's just take a look at the league, and our home form in the league. We've played 13 games. We've won 10 of those games and drawn only 2 and lost only the first game to Manchester City. So let us say that our home form is second to none. It's right up there with the best of them. And our home form is going to have to continue, obviously, to help us get into top 4. We got 32 points from our home games so far out of 13. Now, here's the rub, guys. Let's contrast that with our away form. We have played 12 games away from home. We have won 4 of those games. Those 4 of those games that we won were teams in the bottom from 10 downwards, and we've only drawn 3 games away from home, and we've lost 5 of those games. And as I said previously, we lost the majority of those games against top 4 opposition, with those 2 shock results against Southampton and West Ham. Okay, so if you're following me so far, what I'm saying is our away form really needs to improve. Here's the shocking statistic recently from our away games. It has been 6 away games since we have won away from home. And in those 6 games, we have obviously lost to Manchester City and Liverpool and Anfield. But we've only picked up 2 points. That 2-2 draw at Manchester United and the quite sterile 1-1 draw against Brighton. Now, that our last away win was against Bournemouth, and they're presently in 10th place right now. We have not won away from home against opposition higher than 10th place. So we're garnering most of our points away from home, 10 down to the bottom. So we really need to get a win on Saturday versus Huddersfield. Our last away win was versus Bournemouth, November 25th. And we do have 7 more fixtures, home and away, against 10 and below position teams. So things are looking brighter if we can get our act together right now. Obviously, our last 6 away games are not bright, having lost 4 of them, and only drawing 2 games away from home in our last 6. So we've taken 2 points out of 18 away from home recently. It has been 12 actual league games, home and away, obviously, since we last won away from home. So that's kind of a shocking statistic. So, to summarize, our away form must improve. I think everybody realizes this, but we must also have hope, because the majority of our games coming now will be 10th position and lower, and we can get a lot of points home and away from those games. We will have some tricky games, but not insurmountable games. We play Wolves away from home, Watford away from home, and Everton away from home. They're all winnable games. Leicester will be a little bit tricky as well. So our away form has given us 4 wins, 3 draws. That is 15 points. And our home form has given us 32 points. That gives us 47 points. We have gained half the amount of points away from home than we do have at home. So it's going to be tricky. But this is the best game for us to have at this point in the season. To play away from home, to play Huddersfield, to get confidence back, and to go on from there in our campaign. We really have to compartmentalize these next 13 games, and in particular, let's take these next 3 games in a microscope. We have to play Huddersfield, and that's the beginning of the 3 games that we really need 9 points from. I'm going to give you guys my prediction for the team that should go out, and this is what I think should be put on the pitch, right? So I would go for a 4-4-2 formation, And I really think we need to dispense with this five at the back, except for the one or two tricky games that we have coming up versus Spurs and Manchester United. So I'd start 4-4-2. Leno and as goalkeeper, obviously. I'd love to have Jenkinson as right back. We got to stop this Lichtsteiner stuff. It's ridiculous. I would put Mavropanos in with Koscielny. And let's go back to some experience at the back with Monreal. An old warrior that's going to help us get top four. Koscielny and Monreal, the mainstays of our defence. Tried and trusted, I want to say, but our defence is nothing to be trusted about right now. But we need to rely on these people. In midfield, Xhaka and Torreira. Now, the right side midfield and left side midfield, I've gone for some balance. My preference would be Ramsey on the right hand side, but I would make a case maybe for Suarez. I would not be unhappy to see Suarez in there. And on the left hand side for balance, I would like Iwobi in there, but also similarly, I would not be disappointed if Guendouzi was there. Let me know what you think down there in the comments. Ramsey, Suarez, or Iwobi, Guendouzi. And then I finished with the two strikers, Lacazette and Aubameyang. I was thinking about maybe giving Aubameyang a rest, but these two players need to get some confidence for the coming games. We're out of cup competitions, so our fixture list is going to be lighter. So let's have them play together. Let's get them a few more goals for more difficult tasks away from home. If we cannot beat Huddersfield away from home, we are in no state to be looking for the top four. So, simply put, nothing but a win. Nothing but a win on Saturday will suffice. Let's get back to those memories where Torreira scored that goal. Let's make some memories versus Huddersfield, and let's get a win. Please, if you liked this video, subscribe down below. I'm on the road to 40 subscribers, and I would really appreciate another few subscriptions by the weekend. But here's to another well, it's Huddersfield, all due respect to them, but here's to another win for the Arsenal in our race for the top four, which I believe we can get. But we need to start with this win. I'm out of here.